Hello Grapple fans and welcome back to the UKPW wrap-up show. I'm Dave O'Connor, your host and guide for all of the action from UKPW Canterbury, the Grapplers Tale. The Grapplers Tale saw the return of pro wrestling to the city of Canterbury with a bumper crowd descending on the North Gate Centre for an afternoon of action, breaking all of our ticket pre-sale records for the second consecutive show. And the crowd was hot from the off as the venue filled to near capacity, and Kieran Cross was joined by special guest Simon Miller at the commentation station for the first half. The show kicked off strong with intergender tag action as huge fan favourites Big Dangerous Scary Mammals took on the pairing of Truman Roswell and the locksmith Evie Madden. This was Clementine and Evie Madden's second meeting in as many shows, with Madden triumphing over Clementine in the opening brackets of the United Kingdom Pro Wrestling Women's Championship Tournament at Press Start in Lordswood. The pairing looked to start off the action, but Truman Roswell abruptly tagged himself in and was quickly taken to task by Mr. Charles Crowley. After some back and forth action, Evie Madden was knocked from the apron, leaving her partner stranded in the ring. She eventually recovered and tagged in, only to receive a vicious forearm from Roswell, who then retreated to the back, leaving her at the mercy of BDSM, who hit a wicked double-team maneuver for the victory. Next up was the penultimate first-round encounter of our UKPW Women's Championship Tournament, with the Poison Princess Jayde squaring off with Ava White. Both of these women were making their UKPW debut, but it was obvious who the fans in the building were behind, with Ava White the clear fan favourite. White started brightly with a flurry of offence, clearly catching her opponent off guard before Jayde was able to seize a slight opening and carry out a brutal, methodical assault of her own, dragging White around ringside and repeatedly driving her face first into the apron. Back in the ring, Jayde found herself on top, taking control with a disgusting camel clutch. And after a brief fight back, it looked like it was all over for White as she found herself on the end of two big running knees. But no, and after a kick out at two, she hit a distracted Jayde with the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling. A surprise roll-up, and effectively stealing the win in what must be considered a huge upset. The United Kingdom Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships were on the line in Canterbury, with the champions Anton Green and Gabriel Myers, The Business, defending their gold against Heavy Metal, the team of The Nail, and the United Kingdom Pro Wrestling Inter-Regional Champion, the Buffalicious One, Buff Broadside. The Business returned to the company at Press Start, boasting a new attitude and arrogant edge, but suffered a defeat at the makeshift team of Rex Armstrong and Harry Sefton in a non-title match. They came into this match clearly looking to make a statement, attacking their opponents before the bell. Heavy Metal fought back blow for blow, with the Nail and Broadside dealing some early damage of their own, much to the delight of the crowd in attendance. But before long, the greater tag team experience of the champions shone through as they isolated the Nail in their corner and kept on top of him with a series of quick tags and high-impact moves. But you can't kill the Nail, who eventually found an opening to unleash the Buffalicious One on The Business, who completely turned the tables before his running power slam attempt was blocked and he was taken out of contention. This allowed Mr. Clean Anton Green to strike the Nail with his trademark bat behind the referee's back before delivering his signature clean cutter and picking up the win. The Business retained their championships, but how long can they ride their luck? Next up was a highly anticipated contest in what many would consider a classic David vs Goliath matchup, as Just Joe Lando goes head to head with the one-man armory Bullit. Originally, the Wolf of Broad Street, Alexander Roth, was to be Bullit's opponent on this show, but after a savage post-match attack in Medway the previous month, Roth was not medically cleared to compete. Just Joe Lando was hand-selected by Roth to be his replacement as he continues his quest for a UKPW title shot, and was in his corner in Canterbury, while Bullit was accompanied to the ring by UKPW champion Dow Jones. The odds seemed firmly stacked against Lando, and from the outset, Bullit demonstrated his superior strength, tossing Lando around the ring. Undeterred, Lando attempted to chop the big man down, peppering with quick attacks and connecting with an amazing moonsault from the apron to the outside. Try as he might, he could not stop Bullit, who refused to stay down, repeatedly leveling the smaller man with dynamite strikes and huge clotheslines. But at the end of the day, it may have been the action outside of the ring that was the deciding factor, as Alexander Roth and Dow Jones came to blows, distracting Lando and allowing Bullit to put him away with a monstrous seated powerbomb. After the match, Dow Jones stated that Alexander Roth would get a UKPW title shot, but only if he could defeat RJ Singh at Tables, Ladders and Scares on Halloween. The second half of the show kicked off with another change to our scheduled card, as big wavy Roy Johnson found himself without an opponent for the afternoon's event. Roy issued an open challenge which was answered by none other than the Shah, Jordan Saeed, who came to the ring, cutting a scathing promo on Roy before striking Big Wavy between the eyes with the microphone. And with that, the bell rang and an impromptu match between two of UK's brightest talents began, with two men trading blows and moves with nothing between them. Saeed came close to picking up the win several times, coming closest when he locked in a deep camel clutch in the centre of the ring. But it wasn't enough, and Big Wavy persevered, fighting his way back into contention and hitting a huge pounce on Saeed before finishing him for the 1-2-3. Following on from this was the final first round match in the UKPW Women's Championship Tournament, as Bunny Mallow took on strong competition favourite in the anti-conformist Kira Chimera. And Kira showed exactly why she is amongst the favourites here, as she leapt on her opponent and the bell assailing her with a volley of strikes. Try as she might, Bunny Mallow could not find her way back into the match, with only a burst of offense quickly cut off by Chimera before she was put away with a stunner spinebuster combination. Kira Chimera advances to the semi-finals and looks very strong in the process. And finally, in our main event, a battle not just of content creators, but also a contest between teacher and student, as David Francisco faces off against his former trainee, Simon Miller. The crowd had been excellent all day, and there was an extra air of anticipation as two men met in the ring, with Francisco causing a controversy by refusing to shake Miller's hand until he had earned Francisco's respect in the ring. The match started brightly, with neither man able to assert control for very long before being cut off by their opponents. Simon Miller made several early attempts to use his superior strength to gain the upper hand, but each time he was outmaneuvered by the wily veteran, finding himself suffering several near falls for his trouble. The men traded blows again and again without any sign of a clear winner, and it soon became obvious that this match would come down to the wire, with both men showing remarkable resilience. After all the back and forth, the turning point came when David Francisco attempted and failed a flipping senton from the top turnbuckle, ending a brief spell of dominance and allowing Miller back into the match with a series of big strikes and lariat from which Francisco could never truly recover. The end finally came when Simon Miller was able to connect with a huge spear, knocking Francisco flying and picking up a big debut pinfall win against his former mentor. The crowd were thrilled with the outcome as both men shook hands in the centre of the ring, concluding another red-hot United Kingdom Pro Wrestling show. There are just 2 shows left on the UKPW Restart Tour. Why not join us for one of our excellent family-friendly events? We are at the Alexandra Centre in Faversham on Halloween for UKPW Tables, Ladders and Scares, with another action-packed monster show featuring the semi-finals of the UKPW Women's Championship Tournament, with the locksmith Evie Madden taking on Livy Grace, and Ava White versus Kira Chimera. Also scheduled is a tag team match between Big Dangerous Scary Mammals and Two Good Eggs to decide the number 1 contenders for the business's UKPW Tag Team Championships. Can the Wolf of Broad Street overcome RJ Singh to get his UKPW title shot against Dow Jones? Find out at Tables, Ladders and Scares. And finally, a 6-man ladder match for the United Kingdom Pro Wrestling Inter-Regional Championship, with the champion Buff Broadside defending against Truman Roswell, KM Lane, Maverick Mayhew, Callie Gray and Danny Black. Tickets are available now at the link below, with general admission only £10. Full cards and event listings are available on our website and social media outlets, all of which can be found in the link and description below. While you're here, why not leave a like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all our new content, which is released very regularly. I've been your host, Dave O'Connor, and this has been the UKPW wrap-up show for the Grapplers Tale in Canterbury. Thank you all for watching, Grapple fans. We'll see you soon.